All
I
right.
will also mute myself so we
Okay.
cannot hear said baby.
Yeah, no worries. And if at any point either of you have questions or things like that, I do want it to be like a conversation. So absolutely feel free at any point. But welcome to Dressing for Your Venus sign. Now, I know this says 7 day challenge, but I have decided to change it from challenge to experiment.
Ooh,
And
I
I've
like
done that for a few different reasons. Number one, I find when it's a challenge, it's like, can I do it or can I not do it? And if you don't do the full 7 days, you're going to feel like you let yourself down. And that's not at all how I approach anything. But well, both of you know me. I'm all about curiosity and exploration. And I've always approached life like an anthropologist, which means like when I'm going into something that makes me squidgy, I go in ready to ask questions and explore and experiment. Like, let's just see what happens. And that's kind of what I want for all of you for the next or for the 7 day challenge that will actually start on Sunday. Okay. So, what the heck is this thing? So, the dressing for your Venus sign, we were talking about this before I press record, but essentially is a trend that came out on TikTok. I think it was last year, where people were talking about this. But I didn't hear about it from that. I heard about it from a friend of mine, and she said like Venus is the planet that rules like love and attraction and confidence and like beauty and all of these amazing things. And so the theory is that if you dress according to your Venus sign, you will be more magnetic, you will be more confident, and you will naturally attract people to you. And then I also add here, it's fun to explore fashion beyond the identities that we can easily slide into, I think. And that for me was the best part of taking on this experiment for myself last summer because I didn't realize how many rules have been written and just kind of like I forgot about but still obeyed about what somebody like me in a body like this should or should not wear. And how I was just obeying those rules without a second thought. And so when it came time for me to explore beyond, black tights and hoodies and t-shirts, I was out of my comfort zone a little bit, but I was like, we'll do it for science. We're going to do this to find out if it truly does make us feel more confident. And it did for me, for me. All right. So I'm going to walk you through the steps to do this. So if you, well, I know, Nicole, you are currently multitasking, so you can do this later if you haven't already done it. But the first step we want to do is find your Venus sign. Oh, we have Kira's coming in. Give me 2 seconds. We'll let her pop up. So we want to find your Venus sign, and you can use a website. If you don't already know what this is, you can use a website like Cafe Astrology because it's free. And essentially, what you want to do is create your star chart. And it'll ask you all the information about when you were born, what time you were born, where you were born. Yeah, those are the main important things, and then your name and all that good stuff. Hi, Kira. You there? You there, bro? Okay. Anyways, so you're gonna want to find that out. If you can use the chat if you want to, or you can come back on screen. Have any of you done this already to find out what your Venus sign is?
My Venus sign is in Libra.
I'm not shocked at all. I was gonna say, are you in Libra by chance? Because of the colors that like look amazing on you, and when I photographed you, that was basically like full on Libra.
Yeah, I looked at that and then I looked up a little bit of what it meant when you sent out your first blog post about it, and I'm like, so like everything that I'm attracted to aesthetically, that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, and it's kind of interesting. So what I've been exploring too, because I am a like my main sign is Libra, but my Venus sign is Virgo. And so the challenge for me was to like lean into Virgo a lot more, which we're going to talk about all of them. I'll go through each of them with you guys. Um, and it was like not a far departure from Libra, but now that I've been doing it for a year, I kind of add both elements in. Like I find that I still like when I dress in my pretty fairy dresses and my pretty pastel outfits, that's very much my Libra side coming out. And then when I dress more according to Virgo, which is like mossy greens and neutral tones like tan or brown and camel colors, that's definitely more my Venus sign. And what I notice is that when I dress for a Libra, which is for me, I don't get as many compliments from other people as I do when I wear the stuff that is in Virgo, which is my Venus sign. So I want to encourage you. It's really easy to figure it out if you haven't already figured it out. Like I said, go to Cafe Astrology. It's the easiest one, or you can just type in "What's my Venus sign" in Google, and the internet will help you out with that. Now, once you've done that, you can do the next thing, which is going to be to go to Pinterest. Now, I will say this was a lot different last year because I was part of the Pinterest program in November and they had started talking about how they're making things more shoppable from Pinterest. So now when you type in like Venus in Libra aesthetic, you're going to get a lot of fucking sponsored ads. There's a lot more sponsored ads and it'll take you right to the website, which sucks. So you can still type it in and you'll find that people have put together these curated little boards of their own. So you can get some fashion inspiration or ideas. I don't know, it's kind of fun that way. But I put here, these are kind of the prompts you're going to want to use when you go to Pinterest. So you'll type Venus in whatever your sign is, style, or Venus in whatever your sign is, aesthetic, and type it in and see what pops up for you. Now, in addition to that, I've gone ahead and created some guides for everyone. And so if you scan that little QR code, if you can't do it right now, that's okay. I'll send out the link for this as well in the email with the recording. But I have the different style guides available on my website for you to download. They're just like really quick, easy to read things to give you inspiration and ideas to kind of work through this. Because if you have been dressing one way for most of your life, to get outside of that can be very overwhelming and unknown and foreign. So it has written inspiration, but it also has visual inspiration. So you can utilize both of those to help you out. And I'm going to go pull those up so I can share those with you. While I'm doing that, do we have any questions yet about anything? New? Okay, everyone's just cruising along. Perfect. Love that. All right, share. Okay, you're gonna see the inside of my Canva. Oh, how dare we? Okay, so this is what your guides are gonna look like, just to give you an idea. So if your Venus sign is in Aquarius, this is going to be the guide that you're going to click on. And it basically says here are some questions that if you feel squidgy about the suggestions it's offering, these are some questions that you can use to ponder. What am I afraid of if I step outside of how I've always been dressing? What have I been taught about this type of dressing? Because, of course, those of us that are socialized as women, we have been taught that only certain women dress a certain way. And there's all these stupid rules that are have prohibited us, and then we ultimately prohibit ourselves from the fun and exploration and experimentation of playing around with different fabrics, textiles, and fashion because we've been taught that it means something. Like, oh, if I wear ruffles, then I'm a girly girl, as if that's a bad thing. Or if I wear this, then I'll look too masculine, as if that's a bad thing, right? And so we want to get curious about what are these identities that I've created for myself and how is that impacting how I currently dress? And how can I use this experiment to help me dial those back a little bit and explore other ways of expanding who I am as a person? So once we go down, here's Aquarius. So, Aquarius folks, you are unconventional, future forward, and expressive. So, this again is if your Aquarius is in your Venus sign. Okay, this is important, not just your regular sign. So here we'll look, we have style keywords. So quirky, unique, futuristic, rebellious, artistic, eclectic. Okay, so people that are their Aquarius is their Venus sign is in Aquarius are definitely the like festival goers. Like think like rave wear, that's essentially it. Like we're looking for outfits like this bold, metallics, shiny, different textiles, futuristic, spacey, kind of like playful, but still like, yeah, futuristic. And a really great place to look for that if you're in the States and if they still do this. They used to have the design collection at Target, which I know we're kind of boycotting Target, I guess, but they have the Future Collective collection. And it, I think, is inspired a lot by whoever came up with that is probably Aquarius in some capacity because they could see the future and what they wanted to create. And a lot of the styles or aesthetics were very much like really sharp, really playing with really cool textiles, shiny fabrics, lots of flowy, billowy, but then also structured. Yeah, it's a really cool collection which changes all the time. So I don't know if they still do it, but they definitely used to. So Aquarius, you are going to be looking for some old. And here's the thing, if you're like, "Ooh, I don't know if I could wear like something like this out in public." Okay, why? What comes up for you at the thought of wearing a bold outfit if you aren't already doing it? The cool thing about this is you might already be doing elements of this without knowing that you're doing it. All right, let's move on to Gemini. So I think if I'm not mistaken, Geminis are playful and they are the ones that literally can wear anything and mix and match things together and they're gonna look good. Like you're like, "Oh my God, like that is your style." Does anybody here have Gemini as your thing? Anyone? Nobody? Okay. So I can't wait to show you this because this is literally the boldest. Like, I feel if you are somebody that has Gemini or Venus in Gemini, you probably already have adopted a lot of really vibrant, bright colors somewhere, whether it's in your makeup or your jewelry or your purses or shoes or whatever, if you're not already going full force into the full outfit. But usually, like, look at all these different textiles mixed together. Not afraid of layers. They're all about putting stuff on top of stuff, trying different things, really bold, colorful, playful, almost like as if a toddler was to dress themselves. That's Gemini. So you can't go wrong. I feel like Gemini's probably got it the easiest as far as like finding stuff because you just put a bunch of random shit together and hope it works. And I think that would work for somebody that has their Venus and Gemini because it will look like it goes together. So then we have Cancer. So if your Venus is in Cancer, then what you are going to be looking for is very soft, nostalgic, and kind of a vintage flair. The inspirations that are recommended are like Lana Del Rey vibes, Cinderella, Drew Barrymore, like really soft colors, but really flowy fabrics. It's romantic and delicate with like little sweaters, cardigans, pearls, really soft, like this, essentially. So again, if you're somebody that has cancer and you maybe haven't been dressing in soft colors, what that might tell me is that you have an aversion to girly, feminine, hyper feminine styles, aesthetics, and silhouettes. And so you may want to explore what that's about or where that comes from. I love this set, by the way. All right, Let's move down to Taurus. So if your Venus is in Taurus, you are going to be all about luxury, sensual, and grounded in classic beauty. So these are really classic silhouettes. Kira, do you say I? I. Oh, you're Taurus. Okay. So this will be fun for you because I feel that a lot of your, at least the styles that I've seen of you that you tend to go towards, tend to be toward, that's okay, tend to be more towards the Gemini, if I'm not mistaken. But Taurus in Venus is really elegant, earthly, timeless, feminine, floral, cozy, like really relaxed, but like high end. So velvet, cashmere, linen, silk, really soft and flowy, but like put together, if that makes sense. So it's not like whimsical, it's like that person's put together. You know what I'm saying? And it's interesting because that is like one of the things that for mine, even it said like minimalist or practical but romantic. And for me, I was like, I wouldn't use those words to describe me. Why not? Because my whole life I had been taught that somebody with a body like mine, here are the options that are accessible to you. And none of them look like the Virgo options that were being suggested to me. So I actually had to like get out of my own way and explore what could that look like. And so I want you to start thinking about that for you. Like, is there any resistance to this? And if so, why? What are we afraid of if that was to happen? If I was to wear this, what am I afraid of? All right, since you're here, Kara, do you have any questions about your style suggestion? Any cues? Feel free to ask in the chat. I'm assuming you're at work.
I'm just gonna unmute. No, I just
Oh,
finished work. Sorry, my computer is being very weird. It like froze and like couldn't like do anything. Like I could hear you and I could see
okay.
what you were doing, but I couldn't like click on anything.
Oh, that's okay.
Um, Mostly just like I'm in Florida, so like I have an aversion to sleeves.
Okay. But that's okay too.
Um,
Is like thinking of like,
yeah,
okay, tank tops would be like, or linen suits.
yeah.
Strapless or not strapless, like tiny like spaghetti strap things.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so, and that's the thing too. That's a really great point to bring up. Like, obviously, climate makes a difference. And even when I was looking for Venus in Virgo, the first time it was like any of my clothes, whatever. But then I was like, okay, but how do I apply that to me as a speaker on the stage? Because that, like, the stage looks are not at all in accordance to Venus in Virgo. So I was like, oh God, how am I gonna apply that to that? And so I had to think outside the box a little bit. So the point here
Mhm.
is to take the ideas of like, okay, obviously you're probably not going to wear velvet in the middle of summer in Florida.
No.
No, I would not suggest that. But you could have like well, your hair's short. I was gonna say a velvet scrunchie or like an accessory. But like you could have silk, linen, not
Hmm.
satin, that'd be hot too. I would stick with the silk linen kind of department more so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like really chic. Chic would be the word I would use for Taurus. Chic. You're gonna be a chic lady.
I'm
Yeah.
just excited to wear color because I don't really do
But
that.
I think you do wear color,
So.
but you wear like bold colors, I think, from what I've seen. But maybe that's because I only see you in photo shoot experiences.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like in photo shoots, I wear something completely different. Like my everyday look is literally like a black t-shirt and black shorts. And
Ah,
that's
yes.
that's
And
a majority of my outfits.
I'm not
So
alone.
that's
okay.
why I
I love
wanted to
that.
do this because I was like, okay, I'm gonna try not to wear my MO and
Oh my
try and
God.
do this. Because
I love
I
it.
love fashion. I just feel like I don't think about it. I just throw on what looks clean
See,
and that's
and
it.
that's what I used to say. Like, I remember in the studio, I'd be like, oh, I love fashion, but I hate clothes. That's what I used to say. Um,
Hmm.
and I think it was because I never, because I kept, as a plus size person, I would buy clothes because they fit. I didn't care about anything else. I was just like,
Yeah.
yay, it fits. And then I would put it on and it would be like scratchy because it was like sequin or like, I always thought that I had to have something else, or like I'd try the trends that other people were doing. And I'm like, oh, but I hate the way this feels. Like it came down a lot to how my clothes felt on my body. And a big part of that was to do with the fabrics that I was choosing. Like chiffon, don't even get me started. I fucking hate that fabric. Anything that doesn't breathe and doesn't stretch, get it out of here. I don't want it. But again, because of what I had been told, I didn't think I could expand beyond that into anything else. And so this is why I love this as an experiment because it does confront a lot of the things that we don't even know that are in our head when we're going to buy clothes. All right. Are we
Mhm.
ready for Leo? Whoops. And I realized the apostrophe's in the wrong place. Get over it. Okay. So, Leos, you are exactly what it sounds like. And now, listen, I don't know a lot about astrology normally, but I always hear that Leos are all like, look at me, look at me, look at me, right? And in this case, it is. And Leo's all about animal. So, of course, we're going to have a lot of animal prints, faux furs, big gold jewelry, tailored suits, bold glasses, sequins. Like these are the people that are like, yes, you will see them coming a mile away. But it works. If I dress like this, it doesn't work so much. And I've tried because, you see a trend and you're like, that looks amazing on them. Probably because that's in their Venus sign or their Venus sign is there. But mine is not. So it doesn't translate the same. And so if you are a Leo, you get to play around with really bold colors, lots of reds, oranges, yellows, purples, magentas, hot pinks, all that good stuff, and a lot of gold. So have fun with your jewelry. Okay? Okay. Virgo. So this is the me's of the world. I even put myself on the vision board for this. So Virgo is clean, classic, and subtly sensual. See, I never would have been like, yeah, that sounds like Terry. Never, 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 never. Right? But once I started to like lean into that a little bit more, I was like, oh, okay. And that's when I would get compliments most. Not that compliments are the most important thing, but it does let you know that maybe you're standing up a little bit taller or you feel good in what you're wearing. So for Virgo, it's a lot of like refined but still functional, right? Tailored pieces, minimalist makeup, natural beauty. Like again, I put on a little bit of blush and some highlight whenever I'm doing something on camera. Aside from that, I don't even wear makeup. High waist trousers, which again, if you would have told me a year ago that I would be wearing brown high waisted trousers, like tan trousers, I would have been like, you are nuts. But when it came time for me to figure out my like speaking outfit, it was like sage green and tan brown and like cream colored sat silk tops. Like who is she? What is happening? Loafers. I'm a flip-flops gal, you know? But when I put them on, I'm like, okay, all right, I see you. And I felt really good. So, fabrics for Virgos, linen, cotton, wool, fine knits, again, things that are breathable, movable, and comfortable. So, this is the aesthetic. Who's this little cutie? It's me. And what inspired because when I started thinking for business outfits outside of the norm, this was actually my inspiration. But of course, we don't see plus size folks in these outfits. So I was like, how do I take that, but make it on a plus size person? And that was actually really fun to see, like, okay, now I got to go source these wide leg pants in Sage. Do you know how hard that is for a plus size person to find light colored dress pants that are wide legged and long? Luckily, Torrid had just come out with a whole collection in that color. So it is possible. And my favorite thing is when I go thrifting, is like now I know exactly what colors to look for. And I stay away from a lot of the other colors I would have probably purchased simply because it fit. All right, here comes Libra. This one's for Nicole. All right, we've got harmonious, charming, and effortlessly chic. So very similar to Taurus here. Libra is a little bit more towards the whimsy side, a little less structured and a little more playful, romantic, elegant that way. So think like wrap dresses, ballet flats, dainty jewelry, scarves, like really playful, pretty aesthetic essentially. So a lot more, yeah, whimsical, whimsy, Polly Pocket. There we go. That's your vibe. I think like my Lady Lovely locks that I used to love when I was a kid. This is the style. And oh, as a Libra, this is how I dress in the summertime because like these are the colors that I associate with spring. But I mentioned earlier on, when I dress in this, I feel okay. Like I like the way that I look, but less like it's not as magnetic as when I wear the mossy greens, the browns, the tans, and so on. It's very fascinating. Life is so much fun when you treat it like an experiment because everything's just data. Nicole, do you have any questions about your style or anything? I know you're busy, but if you do, oh, we have a chat. I'm good. All right. She's good to go. All right. So you're going to look to Elle Woods as your inspiration. All right. Scorpio. Now we're getting into like the darker, moodier. All right. So, Scorpio, you are intense, mysterious, and magnetic. Wow. All right. What's this? Uh, All right, mysterious, seductive, edgy, gothic, bold, secretive. And it's funny because there are certain people that I know that I'm like, oh, I wonder if they are Scorpio or like their Venus is in Scorpio. Leather pants, fitted black dresses, chokers, dark lipstick, black, burgundy, like dark colors, essentially. They are our Morticia Adams, Megan Fox, Angelina Jolie kind of vibes. We're talking very like put together, gothic, harness, there's leather, there's structure, kind of witchy. Yeah, that's it. That's the vibe. Complete contrast to our Libra, essentially. Very different. All right, and then we have Sagittarius, which again, I don't think I spelled that right, but that's okay. Here we go. Our Sagittariuses are the like bohemian explorers. They're eclectic. They like Geminis, just like love more natural textures, but they can put random things together and it works somehow. So maxi skirts, wide brim hats, these are your like travel Instagrammers, I would say, where they just look like effortlessly festival vibes. Cotton, crochet, denim, linen. They have freckles, sun-kissed glows, loose waves, all that good stuff. These are the vibes for that. So again, lots of different patterns, textiles from different countries, playing with a lot of color, like really just having fun with that. And kind of like a throwback to the 70s a little bit, like that festival era is kind of the vibe, I would say. Yeah. So I don't think any of you are that. Oh, colors, indigo, ochre, rust, turquoise. Again, these really like rich, earthy tones. Then we've got a Capricorn. All right. And my bestie Stephanie said her Venus is in Capricorn. And Capricorn is all about quality, tradition, and sophistication. They love a good tailoring and investment pieces. Like they know quality. These are the people that like really think about structure, blazers, trousers, watches, pencil skirts. Like everything is like classic, right? When you think old money, that's a Capricorn. We're talking navy, camel, charcoal, ivory, wool, tweed, cashmere, structured cotton, um, like sleek hair, really like put together again. And these are kind of the style suggestions for that. So again, like linen suits, we have camel colored clothes, we have a lot of blue. I would also put oh, what's her name there? Megan, the royal family Megan. What's her last name? You know who I'm talking about. She fits this vibe, I think. I bet you her Venus is in Capricorn. or she herself is a Capricorn, one or the other. All right, so that is for that. Then we have our Pisces. Oh, did we have somebody in the chat? We had Marco. There it is. Thank you. Then Pisces. I bet you can't guess what Pisces colored palette is because they're known to be little fishies. Our Pisces are all about dreamy, fluid, poetically expressive. They are a lot like Libra, are soft and whimsical, more daydreamy, flowy fabrics. This is a big thing. They do not do well with boxy structures, really like tight-fitting clothes. No, 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 no. Pastel hues, creative details, lace, tulle, iridescent makeup, think mermaid, floral dresses, and the colors, of course, are like lavender, seafoam, pearl, blush pink. So these are our mermaids of the world. And this is kind of the vibes that I came up with as a result of it. So again, like flowy skirts, flowy pants, even flowy top and dress, really whimsical, magical. And if you saw them coming out of the water, you would not be surprised, right? That's the kind of vibe we're going for if we are Pisces, if our Venus is in Pisces. Then we have Aries. Da da da. Aries is bold, daring, and unapologetically confident. All right, these are our more like streetwear, edgy, athletic, fearless, minimal, bold. So think like leather jackets, crop tops, sporty chic, bodycon dresses, leather neoprene mesh jersey, just really like still those darker colors, but more rebellious, or more like mixing athleticism with fashion kind of thing. That kind of vibe is what we're going for here. So think like Rihanna, says the Queen of Hearts, Lara Croft. So really cool textiles as well. Very similar to our Aquarius in terms of structured clothing, but with more darker colors instead of the vibrant, bold colors, if that makes sense. And that is it for each of the signs. This is my normal look. And oh, and you are an Aries. Okay, so that makes sense. Like I said, I tend to like veer towards things that are in the Libra sign, but it's important for us to recognize that your sign is good, and it's fine to dress like that if you want to, but dressing for your Venus sign specifically is meant to be magnetic, so how other people respond to you. So it just is a different purpose for it, that's all. And it's just kind of fun to see if it does make a difference, I guess. All right, so let me get back to the presentation here, and then we're almost done, and I'll send you on your way. So you can get started with finding your things. So there are a few rules that I highly, not rules, suggestions, because I mean it's an experiment, not a, what do you call it? Not a live to die by. Let me zip through it. Here we go. So I have some questions for you to ask. If you experience resistance, okay, as you're going throughout this, so maybe you experience resistance in trying something on, first of all, or you experience resistance in leaving the house in said outfit, or you experience like the squidginess that comes up because you're getting a lot of compliments from people, or people are starting to see you. I want you to practice the ACE method that I kind of coined, which is awareness, curiosity, and then empowered action. Okay, so if you get squidgy, the first thing is just become aware that, oh, I'm uncomfortable about this. Why? What thoughts, fears, or feelings are coming up for you in that moment? This is how we can start to unravel a lot of the narratives or stories we've been taught about what it means to dress bodies like ours. Whether it's about your age, your size, your chest size, your ethnicity, your whatever. Like we've all been taught something about clothing, and it can impact, again, we don't even realize it's happening, that we cut ourselves off from exploring the creativity of fashion. Just like in photography, when we're so worried about beauty standards, we can't be actually creative, right? Because we're too busy worried about looking good. It's the same thing with clothing. If we're too busy about not looking like this or making sure we look like this, we eliminate so much creative potential for just play. So I want you to become aware of what is making you squidgy about that thing. What identity have you carved out as a result of dressing how you've always dressed? Or what identity are you afraid of? And again, those questions are all in your guides. So then you're going to get curious and you're going to say, first of all, who taught me that? Who taught me that dressing this way means this? Who taught me that a body like this can't wear that? Where did you learn that? And what are you afraid of? Okay, so those are just a few questions to get the old noodle working. Once you have your answer, then it comes time to take action. And because this is an experiment, should you choose to not take an action, that's still an action. Okay, not choosing is still a choice. So here are a few ways that you can do it that is kind of tippy toeing in. So if you're like, oh, no, my nervous system is frazzled and I am so nervous to wear this out in public, you know what? Start with just jewelry and makeup, right? For me, I never used to wear jewelry at all. Now I wear like really simple chains, sometimes gold earrings, but I stick to gold as my jam. That I never done that before. Same with makeup. Never really wore makeup before. Now I start playing with makeup small because wearing too much makes me like, I don't know who that is. So you start small. Okay, so if you're like, too much, just do that. If you're like, okay, I acknowledge the squidgy, but I'm still a little nervous to wear, let's say, this top. Okay, what is something you can wear on the bottom that will make you feel comfortable? Right? So if one piece of your outfit is causing you to be squidgy, make sure something else you're wearing is something that allows you to step into safety and comfort. So it's kind of like tippy toeing in. And then if you're all in, well, just lean into it the whole way and just see what happens. That's the best. Personally, I'm a jump in, the full way. I'm not a tippy toe into the cold water. I will jump in full force and then think about it while I'm in there. So whatever you choose to do, yeah, again, even if it's none of these and you just choose not to do it, that's okay. You've at least chosen it by this point. And last but not least, we're going to do this for 7 days. So starting on Sunday, this coming Sunday, because that gives you Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So it gives you 3 days. Okay, maybe we'll start. I don't know. You want to start on Monday instead? Uh, let's start on Monday. That gives you more days to get your stuff. Okay, so I'm going to give you an extra day. What is that? Yes to Monday. Okay. Lots of people love to start things on Mondays. Okay, so you're going to have 4 days to gather your garments, and here are the suggestions I make in regards to garments. Number one, shop your closet first. You might surprise yourself with some of the things that you have that you didn't even know you had. Okay, start there. Number two, shop your friends' closets. You're just doing this for 7 days, so try not to spend money if you can help it. Okay. Number three, we're going to aim for gently used items at your local thrift store, Poshmark. I don't know if you get things in time for that, but try to get secondhand if you can. Okay. In the States, you guys have actual thrift prices. Take advantage of it if you can. And for those those that are watching that are plus size, you might be like, well, I never find anything there. Listen, do not shy away from trying stuff on in the medium and large sections, as well as extra large and above. Because one of the things, and this is, I guess, where like not being upset if something's too small, like it doesn't affect me anymore, but it does allow me to again expand where I'm looking for things. So I will go, especially things like sweaters, anything that has stretch, you could probably fit into a large or a medium, depending how the fit that you like, right? And depending on the style of the thing. Just don't write it off that you can't find anything in your size, okay? Fourth, if you want to try making stuff, go to town. A lot of my stuff's made from like bed sheets or it's made from like thrifted fabric. Make do with what you got. And then lastly, do not, under any circumstance, buy fast fashion for this challenge. Okay? Do not, or it's not a challenge, experiment. Do not. We will not be contributing to the global waste. We will not be contributing to slave labor. We will not be contributing to that. Okay? So that's a pretty non-negotiable, though I don't control you. But just try your best not to do that. Okay? And I'm not just talking about Shein and all those places online. I'm also talking about Amazon. I'm talking about H&M. I'm talking about Zara. I'm talking about those are the main ones, right? Old Navy, maybe. You want to stay away from the companies that have a very well-known reputation for fast fashion production. Okay? Please and thank you. It is not worth harming our planet to do this activity for 7 days. Okay? Because it has to go somewhere. That's the thing. All right. So, why 7 days? Why are we doing it for 7 days? First of all, because I want you to move through any discomfort that comes up for you after this process. I find if we were just to do it for 1 day, you would forget about it. But 7 days is like a commitment. And it's something that gives you enough time to work through the squidginess. So if like on day 1, you're like, I can't do it, you still have day 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 to be able to move through it that way. If you get uncomfortable, get curious. This is the biggest thing that you can do for yourself. Instead of being like, oh, I feel bad that this went this way, whatever, just say, I wonder why. Why was I nervous? Why was I scared? Why was I resistant? Okay, you want to get curious in your brain. It's going to tell you so much about yourself in that process. And then last but not least, I want to see what the hell you're wearing. Okay, this is really important. So if you are following me on Instagram, or even if you're not, you can tag me on Instagram at Terry Hofford. I will end up sharing them to my stories, so just know that. Or you can DM me as well. Or if you are part of The Wandering, which is my online community, then we have a whole community chat that you are able to throw your photos in there, and I will hype you up all day, every day, because I'm really excited to see what you create. So feel free, you can still join in there as well. All right, and last but not least, have so much fun. This is the best part. I want you to go into this open and excited and exploratory. You are an anthropologist of your life, and you are going to go into this and have a lot of fun. Okay? And if anything comes up for you, just get curious and remember to stay curious and, more importantly, stay kind to yourself. That is very important. All right? So, do we have any questions from those of you that are on this call? You can use the chat or you can speak out loud. Any cues? Are we excited?
I'm more nervous than excited.
Oh, what did you figure out what yours was?
Yeah, so I actually was missing for part of it. I missed mine. I'm a Libra.
Okay.
So I'm a Libra normally, and my Venus is a Libra.
Oh, that's exciting. So that's all pastels for you.
Yeah, which makes me really anxious.
Good. I'm curious to know why.
It's just very out of my comfort zone. I am a black all the time kind of gal.
But why?
So light colors kind of freak me out.
Oh my God, you really look so pretty.
Yeah, I'm really nervous.
Welcome
But I
to the
hope so.
club. We're in this together.
All right, perfect.
I'm very excited. I want to see your outfits because I think you will be surprised. This was the thing. When I first started, I was like, I don't know. And then I went to a store once and I put on, I was like, I'm gonna try on this cream colored dress. Like, never in a million years would I choose that. And I put it on, I was like, okay, ma'am, who are you? Like, it shocked me that I was like, all right, I could wear this.
Yeah, I'm hoping I fall in love with something new. Like I've always wanted to try blazers, and that's something that's big in the Libra.
Yeah.
But I've always worried that I'm too boxy for blazers.
Oh,
So it'll be
see?
nice to kind of see because I've never really let myself try.
And explore who taught you that. Where did that come from? All that fun stuff, right?
Yeah, definitely got to think about all the things I learned at boot camp.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, you're gonna get to apply literally all the questions.
Hmm.
Get excited. But I do find, especially for a lot of us, well, like dressing more girly for those of us that start out dressing very black is because we try to distance ourselves from our femininity. I know I did when I was younger because I was like, well, I know that I can't be like the popular girl, so I'm just going to be the complete opposite of that and leaned heavily into like athletics, athletic wear, sports, dressing more like baggy clothes, whatever, and like just ignoring my body altogether. But I like really pushed away this idea that I was allowed to be girly as because I was like I learned that it was weak, bad, something that you should avoid, which is rude because I love pastels.
Yeah, I think my biggest thing is I've always been told dress for your body and for your skin tone and for this and for that. So it's scary to branch out.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. You're gonna have so much fun. But again, if it's like too much, just like go small. Just like start small. Like pick one article of clothing that's outside the comfort zone.
I think that was in your ace. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can keep like I think you had said you were, was it you that said denim shorts?
No, I
No.
wear normally jeans or black shorts.
Oh, jeans. Okay, jeans. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So with jeans, you could easily pair that with like a pastel flowy top.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna start shopping.
Yay, I'm excited. But yeah, you
I
can
think
use
I have a very different approach. Like, I don't want to be perceived
at all.
like by men when
Ah,
I leave my house and like I
mhm.
hate them.
Yeah. That came
Like
up for
I
me is when people started complimenting me. I was like, oh, this is
yeah.
foreign and dangerous.
Yeah, I don't mind like women perceiving me. I really just don't like because like I literally look like shit and go to a gas station and like men will drive up to me and like I'm like, why? I do it is nighttime, leave me alone. Like I think
Mhm.
it's like a danger situation for me. And like I don't live in a dangerous area or anything like that. I think I just like I'm in my mind, I'm like, okay, if I just like wear big t-shirts and shorts and look like I have no interest in existing,
Mhm.
people won't pay attention to me and
But
I'll
they
be
do,
safe.
but they do anyways.
I know.
So isn't that liberating? Because if that's the whole reason why, and that makes sense, totally makes sense. But it's like, okay, well, if they're already doing that anyways, regardless of what you wear, then why don't you wear something that you might like, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, if you're like, oh, I don't feel safe wearing this to the gas station or whatever, choose a safer location. Maybe you're going out with a group of people, so all
Yeah.
together, you know what I mean? Then you feel safer in numbers. Or just like on a date night with your partner or to work or somewhere like that. And you don't have to wear it all day. You could just wear it for like that short time.
Yeah, I work from home now, so like I think I'm gonna try and like do an activity every day that like forces me to leave the house in the outfit because otherwise I feel like it's just kind of me sitting in my house wearing clothes,
No,
which I guess is
it's good though, because
it,
this is the thing.
but
Like, I still like I never used to care about what I wore during the day when I'd work from home, but I think my
yeah.
work also reflected that. So when
Mm,
I started to dress up, it was like and like what I was wearing, I'm like, okay, I'm going to work in my house. Like,
yeah.
and like I feel cute, so therefore I feel confident. So I'm gonna show up more confidently in the things that I'm doing, because I feel good in what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
true.
so you can still do it at home is what I'm saying. You don't have if you don't want to leave the house, that's okay too. But also, it is good for us to practice getting out of our houses more. So,
No, I do want to leave the house. Like I
perfect.
don't know why I just don't want to be perceived by men. Like nothing happened. I'm
Well,
just like
No, but if you've
don't
seen
want to
it
deal
happen
with
to
them.
enough other people,
Yeah, I think that's what it
yeah.
is. I just don't want to deal with it.
Yeah. So it'll be a good exercise for you to just be aware of like, okay, where is this coming from? What's coming up for me? And where is this fear coming from? And really explore that through journaling.
Yeah,
I think would be good. Yeah, because it's probably holding you back in other ways too.
probably.
Yeah. That's what
I
I
don't know.
realized. I was like, what? If this is how this is holding me back, like just in clothes, like how else are these stupid narratives holding me back with how I'm showing up in the world? Like that I'm not allowed to be this way or not allowed or this is going to happen if I dress like this or whatever. Like how many
Yeah,
other restrictions was I putting on my life just because somebody else made me feel that way? Rude.
rude. Super rude.
Awesome. Okay, well, if you do have any questions or whatever, if you want to share your insights with me, again, I like to do this as a collective because then I get to collect data, which I like. But yeah, report back. Let me know. Like I said, you can come join us in the Wondering, or you can just message me on Instagram. Either way, I just want to know what's going on and what's coming up for you as you dress for this. And if you wanted to share with other people, like if you want your friends to do this as well, obviously, in the email I'm going to send you, it's going to have the downloadable PDFs. So you could share that with your friends. I don't care if other people do it too that weren't on this call. So it's fine. So then you're not alone. Isn't that exciting?
Very.
Cool. All right. Well, that is it for me, my friends. I thank you so much for joining me on this little call. It was lovely to see your faces. Some of you, Kira, I didn't see yours, but I heard your voice, so I could see your face in my head. And just know I love you lots, and you're gonna do awesome. It's gonna be fun. All
Thanks,
right.
Terry.
All right. Love you.
I'm
Bye.
Bye.
excited. Yay.
Good.
Yeah, I
Bye.
just wanted to say before everyone leaves, I'm
Yeah.
also excited.
Excellent. Good, good, good. Perfect. I will talk to you soon.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.